What if I told you that ancient Romans had better plumbing than most of medieval Europe? While Londoners in the 1300s were still dumping waste from their windows into the streets below, Romans over 1,000 years earlier were enjoying sophisticated sewage systems that we're still using today. Picture this: Rome, 100 AD, over 1 million people packed into the world's first megacity. The noise is deafening. Merchants shouting, cartwheels clattering on stone, conversations in dozens of languages echoing through the forum. Now, imagine all of this, without toilets, without drainage, without any way to manage the waste of 1 million people. The result? Catastrophic disease, urban collapse, the end of civilization as they knew it. But that's not what happened. Instead, Rome thrived for centuries, and the secret lies not in its famous monuments or military might, but in something far more humble and far more revolutionary. Flowing silently beneath the feet of emperors and slaves was an intricate network of tunnels that solved problems European cities wouldn't figure out again for over 1,000 years. Today, we're going underground. We're exploring the Cloaca Maxima, Rome's legendary sewer system that's still functioning after 2,500 years. But this isn't just about ancient plumbing. This is the story of how revolutionary infrastructure built an empire, and why these dark tunnels beneath Rome might just be humanity's greatest engineering achievement that nobody talks about. So grab your metaphorical lantern. We're about to uncover the hidden history that literally built the foundation of Western civilization. To truly grasp the revolutionary nature of Rome's sewer system, we need to transport ourselves back to the 8th century BC, when Rome was nothing more than a collection of hilltop villages struggling to survive in the marshy lowlands of central Italy. The area that would become the Roman Forum was literally a swamp, prone to flooding from the nearby Tiber River and plagued by standing water that bred disease-carrying mosquitoes. The transformation of this challenging landscape into the greatest urban center of the ancient world didn't happen overnight. It was the vision of Rome's early kings, particularly the Tarquin dynasty, who recognized that urban growth required innovative solutions to fundamental problems. King Tarquin the Proud, who ruled from 534 to 509 BC, understood that Rome's destiny lay not just in military conquest, but in creating a city that could sustain massive populations in health and prosperity. But let's dig deeper into why this mattered so much. In the ancient world, cities rarely exceeded 100,000 inhabitants because they simply couldn't support larger populations. Athens, at its peak, housed perhaps 250,000 people, and that was considered remarkable. Rome, however, would eventually support over 1 million residents, and the sewer system was absolutely crucial to this achievement. The health implications were staggering. Without proper sanitation, cities were death traps. Cholera, dysentery, and typhoid fever were common killers in urban areas throughout history. Rome's early adoption of comprehensive sewage management gave it an enormous advantage over rival cities. Roman soldiers were famously healthy and well-disciplined, but this wasn't just due to training. It was because they came from a city that had largely conquered the diseases that decimated other populations. The social implications were equally important. Clean cities attracted merchants, artisans, and intellectuals. Rome became a magnet for the talented and ambitious from across the Mediterranean precisely because it offered a quality of life unmatched elsewhere. The sewer system wasn't just about waste. It was about creating the foundation for an empire. The Cloaca Maxima stands today as one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements, and remarkably, parts of it are still functioning after more than 2,500 years. But calling it simply a sewer undersells its significance. This was a masterpiece of hydraulic engineering that solved multiple urban challenges simultaneously. Construction began around 600 BC under the Tarquin kings, but this wasn't a simple drainage ditch. The main tunnel of the Cloaca Maxima measures over 16 feet wide and 14 feet high, large enough for maintenance boats to navigate through it. The Romans built it using massive blocks of local tufa stone, fitted together with such precision that many joints remain watertight to this day, without any mortar. The engineering challenges were immense. Roman engineers had to calculate precise gradients to ensure proper water flow. Too steep, and the rushing water would cause erosion and flooding. Too shallow, and waste would accumulate and create blockages. They achieved a gradient of approximately 2 meters per kilometer, creating a steady flow that carried waste away from the city center toward the Tiber River. But here's what makes the Cloaca Maxima truly revolutionary. It was designed as a multi-purpose system from the beginning. During dry seasons, it drained the marshy areas and carried away sewage. During the rainy season, it prevented catastrophic flooding by channeling stormwater away from populated areas. This dual functionality was unprecedented in the ancient world. The construction process itself tells a fascinating story of Roman society. Thousands of workers, including slaves, free laborers, and skilled craftsmen, toiled for decades to complete the system. Archaeological evidence suggests they worked in shifts around the clock, using oil lamps to illuminate the dark tunnels. The logistics alone were staggering. Imagine coordinating the excavation of miles of tunnels while simultaneously supplying workers, removing excavated material, and maintaining the structural integrity of buildings above. The Romans also incorporated ingenious features that wouldn't be seen again for centuries. They built settling chambers where heavy debris would collect, making cleaning easier. They included ventilation shafts to prevent the buildup of dangerous gases. They even built in overflow channels for times of extreme flooding. Every aspect showed careful planning and sophisticated understanding of hydraulic principles. The Romans' mastery of concrete technology gave them a crucial advantage in sewer construction. They developed hydraulic concrete using pozzolan, volcanic ash from the area around Naples, which actually hardened underwater and became stronger over time. This allowed them to create waterproof structures that could withstand the constant moisture and chemical erosion from sewage. The architectural features reveal remarkable sophistication. Roman sewers featured barrel-vaulted ceilings that distributed weight evenly, preventing collapse even under heavy urban structures above. They built inspection chambers at regular intervals, allowing maintenance crews to access different sections of the system. They included sluice gates that could be opened during heavy rains to flush the system clean. The daily operations of Rome's sewer system required a small army of workers. The Cloacari were professional sewer cleaners who navigated the tunnels in small boats, removing blockages and maintaining the flow. This was dangerous work. The tunnels could flood suddenly during storms, and toxic gases posed constant threats. Yet these workers were essential to the city's survival, and they developed specialized techniques passed down through generations. Archaeological evidence reveals the tools they used: long poles for dislodging blockages, specialized rakes for collecting debris, and even primitive diving equipment for underwater repairs. The Romans kept detailed records of maintenance schedules, repair costs, and worker assignments, bureaucratic efficiency that wouldn't be matched in many cities until the modern era. The social dynamics surrounding Rome's sewers tell a compelling story about class, labor, and survival in the ancient world. While wealthy Romans enjoyed the benefits of the sewer system through their private latrines and bathhouses, the people who actually maintained these marvels lived in a very different world. Sewer workers formed a distinct class in Roman society. They were often freedmen, former slaves who had earned or bought their freedom, or free-born citizens from the poorest neighborhoods. Despite the essential nature of their work, they faced social stigma. The smell of the sewers clung to their clothes and skin, marking them immediately as members of the Cloacari class. Yet these workers developed their own culture and communities. Archaeological excavations near ancient sewer entrances have uncovered evidence of workshops where sewer workers repaired their tools, small shrines where they prayed for protection during dangerous descents, and even taverns where they gathered after long shifts underground. The risks were enormous. Roman writers describe workers being overcome by toxic fumes, swept away by sudden floods, or injured by collapsing tunnel sections. Yet the work paid reasonably well by ancient standards, and experienced sewer workers were valued for their specialized knowledge. Some even rose to supervisory positions, overseeing teams of workers and coordinating major maintenance projects. But the sewers weren't just workplaces, they were occasionally refuges. During political upheavals, escaped slaves and political dissidents sometimes hid in the tunnels. The maze-like nature of the system made it nearly impossible for authorities to conduct systematic searches. Archaeological evidence suggests some people lived semi-permanently in enlarged sections of the sewers, creating hidden communities beneath the imperial city. The Romans, practical as they were, didn't view their sewers as merely utilitarian infrastructure. They understood that these systems touched on fundamental questions of purity, contamination, and the relationship between civilization and nature. This led to a rich, religious and cultural tradition surrounding sanitation. The goddess Cloacina became one of Rome's most important minor deities. Originally a Sabine goddess of purification, she was adopted by the Romans and specifically associated with the sewer system. Temples dedicated to Cloacina were built near major sewer outlets, and citizens regularly made offerings to ensure the continued functioning of the drainage system. But Cloacina represented more than just sewage. She embodied the Roman ideal of transforming the unclean into the pure, the chaotic into the ordered. Her worship reflected Roman beliefs about the civilizing power of technology and the moral dimensions of public health. To maintain clean streets and functioning sewers was seen as a civic duty with religious implications. Roman literature reveals complex attitudes toward the sewer system. Poets like Juvenal used sewers as metaphors for moral corruption, yet also praised them as symbols of Roman superiority over barbarian peoples. The satirist Martial wrote humorous verses about the sounds and smells emanating from the Cloaca Maxima, while historians like Pliny the Elder documented the technical achievements of the system with obvious pride. The cultural impact extended beyond Rome itself. As Roman armies conquered new territories, they often prioritized the construction of aqueducts and sewers in major cities. This wasn't just practical, it was a statement about Roman values and capabilities. A city with proper sanitation was a Roman city, civilized and worthy of inclusion in the empire. Recent decades have brought extraordinary new insights into Rome's ancient sewer system, thanks to advances in archaeological techniques and the courage of researchers willing to explore these ancient tunnels. Modern archaeological expeditions into the Cloaca Maxima have revealed chambers and passages that hadn't been entered by humans for centuries. In 2014, archaeologists using ground-penetrating radar discovered previously unknown branches of the ancient sewer system, including what appears to be a major channel that once drained the Circus Maximus. These discoveries are rewriting our understanding of how the Romans managed water and waste across their sprawling city. Perhaps most fascinating, are the artifacts found in ancient sewer deposits. These time capsules of Roman life include coins dropped by citizens using public latrines, jewelry lost during floods, food remains that reveal Roman dietary habits, and even documents that were discarded and preserved in the anaerobic environment of the sewers. One remarkable discovery involved a section of the Cloaca Maxima, where archaeologists found evidence of a medieval workshop built inside the ancient tunnel. After the fall of Rome, squatters and craftsmen had moved into the abandoned portions of the sewer system, using the sturdy Roman construction as the foundation for new enterprises. Modern Rome continues to rely on parts of the ancient system. Several sections of the original Cloaca Maxima still carry stormwater and sewage, making it one of the longest continuously operating infrastructure projects in human history. This presents unique challenges for modern engineers, who must maintain and upgrade ancient structures while preserving their historical significance. The influence of Roman sewer technology extended far beyond the boundaries of the empire and continues to shape urban planning today. Roman engineering principles, gravity flow systems, dual-purpose storm, and sanitary sewers, regular maintenance protocols, became the foundation for modern sanitation engineering. During the medieval period, as cities across Europe struggled with waste management, scholars and engineers looked back to Roman texts and surviving infrastructure for guidance. The Renaissance saw renewed interest in Roman hydraulic engineering, leading to the construction of new sewer systems in cities like Venice and Florence, based explicitly on Roman principles. The 19th century sanitation revolution that transformed cities like London and Paris drew heavily on Roman innovations. Sir Joseph Bazalgette, who designed London's modern sewer system after the Great Stink of 1858, studied Roman engineering extensively and incorporated many Roman design principles into his plans. Today, as cities worldwide struggle with the challenges of urbanization and climate change, Roman approaches to integrated water management offer valuable lessons. The concept of using the same infrastructure for both stormwater and sanitary sewage, controversial in some modern contexts, was pioneered by Roman engineers over 2 millennia ago. As we emerge from our journey through the hidden tunnels of ancient Rome, we're left with profound insights that extend far beyond engineering and archaeology. The Roman sewer system represents something fundamental about human civilization: our capacity to solve complex problems through innovation, cooperation, and long-term thinking. The Romans understood that great cities aren't built just on monuments and temples, but on invisible infrastructure that supports daily life. They recognized that public health was inseparable from public prosperity, and they were willing to invest enormous resources in systems that future generations would inherit and depend upon. Perhaps most remarkably, they built for permanence. While politicians focused on projects that would bring them immediate glory, Roman engineers were creating infrastructure designed to serve the city for centuries. Their success is evident today. We can still walk through tunnels carved from stone over 2,000 years ago, still carrying water toward the Tiber River. The story of Rome's sewers reminds us that civilization is built as much on practical wisdom as on grand ambitions. The engineers who calculated gradients and fitted stones, the workers who maintained the tunnels, and the officials who organized the massive construction projects were all participating in one of humanity's greatest collaborative achievements. As modern cities face challenges of growth, climate change, and sustainability, the Roman example offers both inspiration and practical guidance. They proved that with sufficient vision, planning, and commitment, it's possible to create urban infrastructure that serves not just the present generation, but countless generations to come. The hidden history beneath Rome's streets continues to reveal its secrets, reminding us that sometimes the most important innovations happen underground, out of sight, but never out of mind for those wise enough to look beneath the surface. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of ancient Rome's remarkable sewer system. If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden histories, subscribe for more deep dives into the infrastructure and innovations that shaped our world. What other ancient engineering marvels would you like us to explore? Let us know in the comments below.